Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Welcome to the Disney Days Planning Podcast. This podcast is information about Walt Disney World, which is organized by topic. I'm your host, Alyssa Salveson. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Disney Days Planning Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about dining options. Now, with such a vast area, Disney World encompasses a lot of different resorts, theme parks, water parks, etc. Obviously, in all these places, there are multiple ways to eat as well, a variety of forms of dining and a diverse menu as well. There are literally 407, like over 400 dining options. So, in this episode, even though I do like to list things normally, it would be a huge disservice to you if I sat here and listed all the dining options on property. So, instead, I'm just going to give you my opinion on some of them, on like my favorite ones or ones that I recommend. I just think that will benefit you more. But I'm going to describe all about dining here. The dining options in Walt Disney World are a huge range. They range from snacks like a Mickey bar or Mickey pretzel or a Coke to fine dining. There are a bunch of fine dining restaurants with dress codes in Walt Disney World as well. And I'm going to cover the range. For many restaurants, it is suggested to make an advanced dining reservation. You can make those 60 days before your vacation begins, the day of check-in. If you are staying on property, if you're an on-property guest, you can book reservations for the duration of your stay, for your entire stay on the first not 60 days before your first day or check-in day. So that's a huge advantage if you want some hard to get reservations. Any character meal would be a hard to get reservation, a bunch of the fine dining options, a dinner show perhaps, things like that. So it's very easy to do on the My Disney Experience app on your phone. If you click reserve dining, it'll show you the 60 days out. It'll be highlighted. You won't be able to make a reservation past that. So the app is highly intuitive and user friendly, and you'll be able to easily figure that out. But if you have any trouble, just DM me. I'm happy to help you. There are a variety of different food options here in Walt Disney World. There are snacks, there are bars and lounges, there are quick service restaurants and kiosks, and there's table service restaurants, which would include casual dining table service, fine dining or signature dining table service, and also character meals. They would all be in the table service category. Some are buffet, some are not. But it's still table service and you'd have a waiter. Each of the type of dining option has a benefit, certainly. It depends, and really how you would choose where to eat would be on your taste, on your budget, your itinerary for the day. I think those are the three main things you'd want to consider when looking at dining options. If you have a very busy day and you don't want to spend a lot of time sitting and eating, don't schedule a sit down, a table service restaurant. You need longer to do a table service. On those busy days and you need to get a lot done, maybe you do a quick service restaurant, which is a counter service. It's like fast food. You could either mobile order some of the quick services, you can mobile order right on the app and select a time that you'd like to pick up your food. So you could literally a whole day pre-select all your meals. So that would be very quick. But if it's a slower day or a day where you value a big break, maybe it is a busy day. You're go, 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 and you have little kids, or maybe just you in general. You're like, you know what? We need to sit down, regroup, reset, and really rest. Maybe that's a good opportunity to plan a table service restaurant. So really, I'm going to talk about each. I'm going to go more into detail about each type now, and just think about what I'm talking about. Think about the way you want your day to look, and then you can do some research on the types of food that they have at these different restaurants and see if that fits your taste as well. Certainly, budget should come into account. Quick services are around $15, they say. Like, where table service, it says 15 to 60 on average, but it's really like in the $35 range and up. 35 to 60. Most of the sit down options are more in that range. So that's a big budget, a big dip to the wallet as well. Okay, so we're going to start with snacks. Now, I'm not even going to list, well, I'll list some snacks, but really, there are snack stands all over. Everywhere you go, there are snack stands. A snack stand could be a booth. A snack stand sometimes is like a structure that is permanently there. Sometimes a snack stand's like a popcorn like a popcorn stand. They really vary. So you can get popcorn all over. I highly recommend, I think the popcorn buckets you can get at a popcorn stand, you can get a popcorn bucket. You can get a fancy one for like over $20. But you can get just a plastic popcorn bucket for $12, $12.99, something like that. And the refills are $2.50, I think, or $2.25, something very inexpensive. And I think that is a great snack, especially of young kids who are maybe a little cranky on the lines or in between meals. The popcorn bucket can be a cheap snack. So I highly recommend popcorn buckets. There's cotton candy. There are frozen refreshments, like little novelty ice cream bar stands all over. Plenty of beverages, all of them, all the stands would have beverages. So they're not really marked on, I mean, some are marked on the map, some are not. They're just as you're walking around, you're bound to see snack stands everywhere you go. Mostly snacks, you just have to wait in a line and order at the counter. There are some exceptions where there are mobile order snacks. For example, one snack stand I recommend is the milk stand in Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios. You can get them non-alcoholic or with alcohol, and I think they're delicious. I'm a sucker for them. I have a cute picture of me and my dad, each having a blue and green milk, and I think it's really fun. And I think they're delicious as well. They taste very different, but that's something you can mobile order. So there's a few exceptions to snack stands where you can mobile order, but mostly you're not going to. You're going to walk and wait in line. You can do a quick filter on the app. You go to the map part of the app, so when you open up the app, it has like a map symbol, like a location symbol. You're going to click that and then it brings you to the map. You're going to go up where it says it'll default to wait times, and then there's a drop down. You click the drop down, you go to dining, and then you're going to go to the left under filter, and you could filter for mobile order, but even if you don't filter and just look at the map, it'll be obvious. There'll be a icon of a phone and then a small little circle with a fork and knife in it. And that symbol means mobile order. So if you see that, that means you can order, whether it's a snack or a meal, you can order that from your phone. The next category after snacks are quick service. You can do there or counter service. You'll see on the app a lot or on the website, counter service. Most quick service you can mobile order, not all of them, but most of them you can. And the price range is about $14.99 per adult. $14.99 and under, they say. Quick service restaurants, most of them have seating, where quick service kiosks, many don't have seating. It would just be like a quick grab your food and eat on the run or go eat on a garbage can or whatever. Again, many of them you can mobile order out, not all of them. And instead of listing all the quick service restaurants, I'm going to give you my favorites in the theme parks. My favorites in Magic Kingdom are Casey's Corner. I don't particularly love the food. Hot dogs aren't my, it's hot, basically hot dogs. My husband thinks they're really delicious. My children like the little hot dog things they have. But the theming is lovely and has beautiful ambiance. There's plenty of outdoor seating. I think there are a few tables inside as well, but they have a pianist outside playing and it's very entertaining. It's by the hub. You have a beautiful view of the castle, the beautiful music. It's just a lovely place to stop. So I highly recommend Casey's Corner. It's conveniently located on the corner of Main Street, USA, and your walkway over towards Adventureland. And where the road goes into Main Street, USA is a parade route. So if you get like a corner end table, you could likely see at least, the high parts of the parade by sitting. You could it's near the parade route. So if you conveniently time your meal to head over and look at a parade or a cavalcade, that could be a really nice option. I also love Sleepy Hollow. I think Sleepy Hollow is one of the best quick services on property. I know people laugh at me when I say this, but I think their chicken and waffles is like the most delicious chicken and waffles I've ever had. I love it. I think it's great. They also do a Nutella waffle that is delicious, and I think that's a great stop. Sleepy Hollow seating is outdoor, and there's not a lot of it, but it's off to the side of the castle, so actually it's pretty good firework viewing if you can get in there and time your meal right. It's off to the side though, in the back of the castle, but you have a beautiful view of the side of the like back side of the castle. Casey's Corner also has a nice view of the castle, but you're kind of in the beginning of the hub. Where Sleepy Hollow, you're very close to the castle. Sleepy Hollow also is at a decent location for parade viewing. It's close to the parade route, so you can be sitting there and eating and then like get up and run over to watch a parade go by or a cavalcade. The third quick service restaurant I personally recommend is Columbia Harbor House. There's ample seating. It's inside in the air condition. It's lovely. It's in Liberty Square and I think it's really yummy. I think the lobster roll is delicious. I love it. It's a cold lobster roll and I think it's very yummy. I think they have a good menu. Again, ample, ample, ample seating, themed in colonial time. I like it. I recommend it. There's tons at Epcot I recommend. First is the festival favorites at Communicore Hall. I've actually never, since it opened, I haven't been in there, but I think the concept is brilliant. There's an ever-changing menu, but if you go there, you can get a bunch of the popular dishes from various Epcot festivals. I think this is brilliant. I'm so happy they did this. And I certainly will be stopping by there when I can. I'm often go with my kids, so it's hard for me to get things that I want to do done. I think that's a brilliant idea. La Cantina de San Angel in the Mexico Pavilion is one of my favorites as well. There's no mobile order. You have to go in there and wait in line and order out the window. But that is my all-time favorite margarita. The lime frozen margarita from there is like my favorite margarita in the world. And they have beautiful, lots of seating. It's outdoor, but lots of seating and it's a beautiful view. Katsura Grill in Japan. I actually haven't been there, even though it's been on my to-go list for a long time. I need to get there. It's first of all, the Japan Pavilion is absolutely stunning and tranquil. You wouldn't even know you're in a theme park back there. And it goes kind of deep. I feel like most people just walk by the front. This is in the back of the Japan Pavilion, and it is, I think, lovely. I will get there. I'm going to eat there next time I go down. There's a crepe place, Crepes à Emporter by La Crêperie de Paris. It's a crepe kiosk and it's phenomenal. It's on your way towards, it's in the back of the France Pavilion on the way towards Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. It's a kiosk. They have great champagne. The crepes are great. They have both savory and sweet crepes. And that again is a kiosk. Next door is actually a sit-down creperie, but this is just a quick service kiosk. There's no seating there though. There's seating in the beginning of the France Pavilion though, so you can like take it and walk and go find a seat. But I think it's delicious. There's a pâtisserie in France as well, which I have not eaten at, but it looks so charming and quaint. It is at the exit of the Beauty and the Beast sing-along. Actually, the sing-along lets you right out in the pâtisserie, so it smells yummy, and the seating is adorable. inside, it's adorable. No mobile order for that either. And then at Epcot, I think the fish and chip stand, the Yorkshire County Fish Shop, which is kind of near Rose and Crown. It's off to the side of Rose and Crown. I think that's a great quick service too. And there's a beautiful seating area, which is sort of hidden. It's a hidden gem. Beautiful seating area. If you time it right and get there early enough, you could have a good view of the fireworks too from that seating area. Next at Hollywood Studios, I really don't find the dining options, especially the quick service options at Hollywood Studios, to be anything to brag about. But there are three quick service restaurants I will recommend. The first is Woody's Lunchbox. It's over in Toy Story Land. I don't particularly find the food that attractive, but it is attractive to kids and it's really well themed. I mean, it looks like a lunchbox. It's a beautifully themed. You can mobile order there as well, and there's ample outdoor seating, and that part gets very hot, and that part of the park gets very hot, but at least you could sit down. Ivy Nut Docking Bay 7, which is at Galaxy's Edge, and that was fine. I think the theming's beautiful in that whole section of the park, and that is you can mobile order there. And then Ronto Roasters, which is also at Galaxy's Edge. I actually had a really delicious breakfast wrap there once. My twins were just babies at the time, but they like gobbled it up. I actually ordered a second one while I was sitting there, and the coffee was pretty good too. So I mean, again, not much to brag about at Hollywood Studios. I like some of their sit down options better, their table service options better, but I'll recommend if you're gonna be doing some quick service, take a look at those three. And Animal Kingdom, which I would argue has the best food on property. It was hard to just pick three, but Harambe Market, I think, is a lovely quick service. You can mobile order there. There is ample seating. It is so well themed. I think their food is very fresh. I like Harambe Market a lot. And you can the ambiance is just great. Speaking of ambiance, Flame Tree Barbecue. Also, you can mobile order there, and they have ample outdoor seating, and it is beautiful. It goes so deep and so vast, and there are parts of it that are so tranquil. There's like pools. Oh my God, it's lovely sit down, and the food's good too at Flame Tree Barbecue. And then finally, I think my favorite quick service on all of Disney property is Satuli Canteen. I recently ate there after hearing people rave about it, and I get the hype. It was amazing, so well themed, so creative and imaginative. Actually, if you have a picky eater, you might want to check. If you have picky eaters, check the menu ahead of time. It might not be for you. If you have a picky eater, you might need to stick to Flame Tree Barbecue. But Santuli Canteen was at really amazing. I had a poke bowl there. I couldn't believe the price I paid for it. It was great. I mean, really outstanding quick service restaurant. Ample seating both inside and outside. They're a little strict there about letting you inside unless you already placed your order. So just know that going into it. Next up, we have table service restaurants. Table service on the app, it says like above $15, range 15. Typically, a table service restaurant is really more in the $35 to $60 range. I find more often than not. Even though it'll say, because technically the quick service is like 15 and below, you can be spending quite a bit of change on your table service restaurants. Again, you'll find table service all over. You'll find them at resorts, of course, at Disney Springs. I mean, Disney Springs has tons of dining. I'll do a whole episode on Disney Springs. And of course, in the theme parks. Table service includes casual dining, but also fine or signature dining as well. It also does include character dining, but for this podcast, I separated character dining because it's so unique. For table service restaurants, typically you want to make an advanced dining reservation. You can do this very simply. You can call Disney World and they can do it for you over the phone. You can, if you have a travel agent, and I've tagged two of my friends who are travel agents in the show notes. If you have a travel agent, they can make the dining reservations for you, but you can do it very easily on the My Disney Experience app. You open up the app. Once you have that open, you're going to touch the plus sign that's on the bottom, right in the bottom center. And then you'll see check dining availability and you can click there. Or if there's a specific restaurant you want, you can, in the search bar, type the restaurant, click on that, and then click book dining reserve, reserve dining. So when you're reserving your dining, you want to make sure you include all members of your travel party, even if that member you're not paying for their meal. So if they're under three, it doesn't matter. You still need to include them in your dining reservation. And then when you check in, you can say, height, chair, under three, whatever. You can give them all the details about your dining party. But it's for fire safety. They need to know the amount of bodies in the restaurant for space. So make sure that you include infants. Allegedly, you can go up or down one or two guests in your table size at check-in. So if, for example, you make a reservation for seven people and then one person decides not to come, you're not penalized for that. And vice versa. If you made a reservation for six, maybe you forgot to include the baby and then you show up and you're like, oh, and there's a baby, so it's really seven. You're not penalized for that. So that's dining reservations. I believe you can begin check-in 30 minutes before your reservation. And if your reservation's at a resort, you can go and park at the resort within 2 hours. It can't be farther out than 2 hours, but within 2 hours of your dining reservation at the gate, you can show them if you're driving in, you can, or Ubering or whatever, you can show, they'll ask to see your reservation or ask for your last name and they'll check the reservation on their end and allow you, that's the guard at the gate before entering the resort, and then they'll let you in either park or drop off, however you're doing it. But again, that has to be within 2 hours of your reservation. And there is a 15-minute grace period after your reservation. So if your reservation's at 6 o'clock and you're running a little late, you have until 6:15 before they'll cancel your reservation. Of course, if you are that late, try calling the restaurant. You can Google the phone number because I don't find it easy to see in the app. So I usually just Google the number. And usually listen, the cast members are human and so kind, and they know this is an expensive vacation and they do their best to accommodate you. They're usually very, very kind, but just know that you have a 15-minute grace period. And if you think you're going to be later than that, then try to get in touch with the restaurant. And once again, you are able to begin making dining reservations 60 days before either check in if you're staying on property or 60 days before the date that you want to dine. And again, I'm just going to talk about my favorites. For fine dining, there is a dress code, and some of the fine dining restaurants are in the theme park. So there are two fine dining restaurants in Epcot in Japan and in Montreal in France. This is what the dress code states. It says this restaurant is a Disney signature dining experience offering fine dining with a distinctly magical flair. Guests are expected to dress accordingly in attire that adheres to the restaurant's sophisticated and upscale aesthetic. Clothing should be clean, neat, and in good condition. Please, no swimwear. And that's what it says on dress code. Okay, at Magic Kingdom, these are my favorite sit down restaurants. Jungle Navigation Co., Ltd., Skipper Canteen. Ah, I love this restaurant. I cannot say enough amazing things about it. The theming's good. The food quality is amazing. The drinks are great. The air conditioning's good. Ah, the cast members are so fun. It's so well themed. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it. And there's a lot of like the decorations are amazing. Oh my gosh, I can't say enough. I love Jungle Navigation Co. Skipper Canteen. Skipper Canteen, great. 10 out of 10. Be Our Guest is another one of my favorites. I think my husband would disagree with me, but I really like Be Our Guest. It is pricey. It is. And Beast is at this restaurant. It's not technically a character meal because Beast just walks around. He doesn't stop at the tables to talk to you or anything. But I think Be Our Guest is great. It is expensive. I will say that, but I think the food's unique. I think it's high quality. I think the wine there is a great selection. One of my all-time favorite wines is they serve there at Be Our Guest. I think it's a great restaurant. And the kids' dessert, I think, is really fun. They give if you look at my Instagram page, you'll see a picture. Actually, when I talk about this in the carousel about dining, scroll through and you'll see my son Zach decorating. They give like a little, it's out of white chocolate, out of chocolate, a little teacup and edible paint. And you sit and you paint your teacup and then you eat it. It's so cute. Beautiful restaurant, very well themed. The cast members are lovely. It does take a long time. So if you are short on time, then don't book Be Our Guest, but or book it like before the park opens or at closing. So you have, it's not cutting into your day, but it is a lovely dining experience. And I like Liberty Tree Tavern. It also is a little pricey because it's all you care to enjoy. It's family style, I believe. It's changed a few times and it's all you care to enjoy. So if you really enjoyed the string beans and want more string beans, you can ask for more string beans and they'll just keep bringing you, refreshing your plate. It can be a very good value if you have big eaters in your group. It is in Liberty Square. Jungle Navigation, Skipper Canteen's in Adventureland, and Be Our Guest is in Fantasyland for reference. Okay, sit down restaurants in Epcot. I mean, there are so many, so I'll just quickly list them. Rose and Crown at United Kingdom. I think it's a great restaurant. Le Cellier at the Canada Pavilion. Delicious, beautiful steakhouse. Chef de France. I think I had one of the most delicious meals of my life there when I went and took my little boy Luke. It's delicious, beautiful. I have been lucky enough to go to Paris. I felt like I actually was in Paris in that restaurant. It is lovely. La Hacienda de San Angel Inn. I personally, Mexican food isn't my favorite genre of food, but the ambiance of this restaurant is unbeatable. It is inside the Mexico Pavilion. It is right on where the Tres Caballeros ride vehicle starts. So it is just like a peaceful river. Oh my God, it is incredible. The ambiance is, I think, the best ambiance of any of these dining options. So that's in the Mexico Pavilion. Next is Coral Reef. I know it's super dated and people might laugh at me for saying that, but I think it's super unique. You are dining and the whole wall is the aquarium. You're on the other side of the aquarium in the Seas Pavilion, and it's, I think, really cool. My kids, I think it was great for kids. My kids are very young. They ate there when they were 3 still, and they could get up and go up and like they were really entertained by the aquarium. So I recommend. I think it's a unique experience. I also really like Teppan Edo, which is the Japanese steakhouse in Japan. I think it's so cool. I think the room's awesome. The like hallway that you walk to get to your table is awesome. I really like hibachi. I think it was great. And then Spice Road Table, which is in Morocco. I think the food's phenomenal, and I think you get a really nice view of the Epcot ball there. At Hollywood Studios, again, Hollywood Studios doesn't have my favorite food, I have to admit, but the Hollywood Brown Derby is, I think, one of my favorite restaurants on property, and that is there at Hollywood Studios. It's delicious. It's well themed too. It's like old Hollywood vibe. It's based off the Hollywood Brown Derby restaurant in California, and it's lovely. The food quality is great. A very lovely menu, not typical theme park food. I like it a lot. Sci-fi dine-in theater. I haven't eaten there in ages. I keep trying to get in and have a hard time getting a reservation actually, but it's a really awesome theme. It's as if you're in a drive-in theater. So you're sitting, your table is like a car. It's actually like a car. You don't have to, there are other tables as well, but a lot of the tables are like cars. So you sit in like the front row, the front seat of the car, or the back seats of the car. It's really cool. And then there's like a sci-fi movie that's going on in the background. I just think the theming is awesome. The other restaurant I haven't been to, but I'm going to put it on here because I think if you have kids, this is a great option. It's Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. It's on my to eat list. I haven't been able to get in there, but I hear good reviews and it's like cutesy. You're one of Andy's toys, and when Andy's coming, everybody freezes. Like all the cast members and everything freeze. It's very cute. Cute theme, cutesy, barbecue menu. So I think it's pretty safe menu. Oh, Sci-Fi Dine-In's like a very safe menu too, if you have picky eaters. So that's Hollywood Studios. Animal Kingdom, Yak and Yeti. I love Yak and Yeti. Can't say enough good things about it. It's in Asia, and it's an Asian restaurant, and it's phenomenal. At Disney Springs, I haven't really talked about Disney Springs very much, but Disney Springs is known, of course, for their shopping and eating. So there are three restaurants I really like at Disney Springs. There's tons of options, but my three favorites are Morimoto Asia. That's also a signature dining here at Walt Disney World. I think it's phenomenal. I happen to really enjoy Japanese food and Asian food, and I really love it. Plus, once when I was dining there, I actually saw Chef Morimoto. So that was really cool. The other restaurant I really like is Chef Art Smith's Homecoming. It's just like Southern American food, like chicken and waffles, things like that. I think it's lovely. I think the ambiance is cool. I remember my server being amazing. It's casual. I like that restaurant a lot. And then Paddlefish. That's a little more upscale. I think the restaurant is very unique. It's on a boat. It's like a big paddle boat that you board, and it's also a nice restaurant, and I think it was delicious and also, again, unique in theme. My favorite resort dining table service restaurants, I really like California Grill. That is a fine dining restaurant at the Contemporary Resort. So you'd have to adhere to the dress code, which again is pretty loose. Listen, California Grill has gone through a cycle. It used to be absolutely phenomenal. Then I think critics had a lot to say about it, but I still I'm rating it very highly. I think it's a really unique experience. It's on the top of the Contemporary, and they have balconies where you can go out and watch the fireworks. And at any time during your meal, you can just go out on the balcony. You're so close to Magic Kingdom, like so close to Space Mountain. It's really cool. Very, very cool. And the food I think is lovely, and it's an open kitchen. So it's entertaining while you're dining too, to watch them cook in the kitchen. I really enjoyed that. One table I had was like really close to the kitchen. So, and then once it wasn't quite as close, but I don't know. I've had great cocktails there. I've always enjoyed my meal there. It is expensive. It's fine dining, but I really like it. Kind of opposite, way more casual. I really like the Grand Floridian Cafe at the Grand Floridian Resort. And I think it's a great breakfast. I actually like going there and eating breakfast and then heading into Magic Kingdom from there. I like not going to a park and eating there because you get a little bit of the Disney flair. I do. I recommend on a non-park day where you don't want to pay for a park ticket, if there is a day you want Disney magic and you don't want to pay for a park ticket, I recommend making a dining reservation at one of the resorts. And these are some of the restaurants that I would recommend. So the Grand Floridian's great to walk around. You have a decent view of Magic Kingdom. It's a beautiful resort, and I think the Grand Floridian Cafe is a great restaurant. It's well themed, it's beautiful, it's charming, and I think the food is delicious and the cast members are lovely. I also like the Kona Cafe, which is a casual restaurant upstairs at the Polynesian inside the main building, and I really like it. Their breakfast is delicious. I think Beaches and Cream is also really fun. That is at the Beach Club, and it's a casual restaurant. It's really like an ice cream parlor. You get a lot of ice cream, but you can get food there too. American fare burgers, sandwiches there too. But it's a lot of fun. And if you like, people order the kitchen sink, and there's like a whole little dialogue, and the whole restaurant goes like a whole can of whipped cream or whatever. It's kitschy and fun ice cream place. And then I really love Sanaa. It's at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I think it is phenomenal. It is a unique menu though. So if you have a picky eater, definitely look over the menu ahead of time. Kids under 3 can always get like a mac and cheese. There's a free meal option, which is typically mac and cheese. They might have something available for a pickier eater, but definitely check the menu out ahead of time. It is an African Indian sort of menu. So I personally think it's delicious and very unique. Also, its location, it is on the savannah at Animal Kingdom Lodge, so you can see animals walking by while you're eating. And I think it's really, really cool. Okay, so that's the table service that's not character dining. Now I'm going to talk to you about character dining. I'm going to do the same thing and just tell you my favorite character dining, and you can very easily on the website see all of the character dining. So character dining is expensive. You're looking at $35 to $60 range typically. Some are buffet, some are table service, like sit down and a waiter will bring you a plate of food. It depends. Some are just character meals for breakfast and not the rest of the day. So be sure to check that before booking. I just made this mistake on my last trip, even though I know enough to check, I still made the mistake. So this is something super important to remember, that some the character meal is all day, but some it's just the breakfast. Character dining certainly is pricey. So if you are but you can get good bang for your buck. So if your kids are like in a character era, like my kids right now love to meet characters, character dining might be worth it for you, because to wait online to meet as many characters as you're going to see during your meal would waste a lot of time. You can't fast pass them anymore. You can't do lightning lanes for them anymore. You have to stand in a standby line to meet characters. So it can eat up a lot of theme park time. So a character meal might be worth the cost just to meet a lot of characters and eat. You're killing like seven birds with one stone, eating and meeting like five characters, four or five characters while you're eating. So it might be worth it for you. Also, I'll talk about this later, but they do, some of them do accept Disney dining plan. It just would be two meals, but I'll talk about that when I talk about the Disney dining plan. Okay, so I just recently ate at 1900 Park Fair, and I think that restaurant is adorable. It is very well themed, and I think the characters are unique. You meet Cinderella, Mirabelle, Aladdin, and Tiana in her Bayou outfit. So I think it's just a very unique experience. You can meet Cinderella in other places, but I'm not sure where else you can meet, certainly dine and meet Mirabelle or Aladdin. That was really cool. So I think the food was good, but it's a buffet and it is quite expensive. The Cape May Cafe, that is only a breakfast, and that is located at the Beach Club Resort. And it's like Minnie and friends, and they're at a beach party, and they're all in like their old school Atlantic City themed beach attire. It's very, very cute. But that, I'm going to say this again, is only character for breakfast. For dinner, it's a regular restaurant and it's surf and turf, which is, it's a buffet. This is a buffet as well, and it's a buffet for breakfast and it's a buffet for dinner. But remember, only characters come for breakfast. Chef Mickey's, I think my husband would he would disagree with me, but my kids love Chef Mickey's. You see your classic characters, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto. You don't see Daisy, but you see five characters. It's in the contemporary, which is kind of fun for the kids. The monorail goes through it. Like that's unique. It is character meal all day long too, which is important to know. It's $35 to $60 for breakfast, and it's like $60 for dinner. But it's like a bright and happy. They're all in like chef attire and it's cute. Cinderella's Royal Table, I have not eaten at, but well, I haven't eaten in a very, very, very long time, but I hear it's so magical. That is in the castle at Magic Kingdom. So I have to put this on this list. And you meet Cinderella and other princesses. You go upstairs and you are looking over Fantasyland. How cool. This is in a theme park though. So to dine at Cinderella's Royal Table, you will need a theme park ticket and potentially a park reservation if you have a non-date based ticket, which I've already explained in my ticket episode. But most of you won't have to worry about a theme park reservation, but you do need a ticket because Cinderella's Royal Table is in Magic Kingdom. So you have to be able to get into Magic Kingdom. You need a theme park ticket to get in there in order to dine. This also, I believe you have to pay in advance, but you pay when you book. You prepay for this. I hear it's so magical. Another Magic Kingdom character meal is the Crystal Palace. I think it's so beautiful. That building is one of my favorite buildings. That is a 100 Acre Wood character. So if you're into 100 Acre Wood, like Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Piglet, you're going to want to eat at Crystal Palace. Garden Grills at Epcot. So same thing, you need a theme park ticket to Epcot to eat there. Is at the Lamb Pavilion. That restaurant actually rotates. It's also Mickey and Friends in farmer gear. But what's kind of cool about this restaurant is it's a farm fresh food, and much of the food was grown right there in the living with the land greenhouses. And the restaurant actually goes, you can see it rotates, and part of it you'll see living with the land, the ride from. So I just think it's really cool. There is a character meal at Hollywood Studios. I just personally don't recommend it, but it's Hollywood and Vine. Ohana at the Polynesian Resort is for breakfast, has Lilo and Stitch. So that's a character breakfast at the Polynesian. So that's kind of neat. There's at the Four Seasons, which you'd have to provide your own transportation to get there, but they do a Goofy and Friends breakfast on Thursdays and Sundays, again at the Four Seasons. And then I just ate here and cannot say enough wonderful things about it. Storybook dining at Artist Point, which is at Wilderness Lodge in the main building of Wilderness Lodge. It's Snow White, Dopey, Grumpy, and the Evil Queen. It's a sit down table service restaurant. They bring you the food to your plate. You order from a menu. You get a sampling of appetizers and a sampling of desserts, but you pick an entree and it is brought to you on a plate. It's not a buffet or anything, and it is phenomenal. I hear amazing things about Topolino's Terrace, but I have unfortunately been unable to get a reservation there. That is only character dining for breakfast. But I hear the dinner there is phenomenal, but character meal is breakfast. And there's like a rooftop terrace there as well where you can see Hollywood Studios, and that's a prefix meal. And then there's Tusker House at Animal Kingdom. I've never eaten there, so I can't speak about it. Okay, so that's your character meal. Actually, I've only skipped over one. I might as well mention to you. At Epcot, not only is there Garden Grill, but there's also, and I don't know how to pronounce this, I think it's Akershosh, I don't know, Akershus Royal Banquet Hall, and that's at the Norway Pavilion, and it's a bunch of princesses. Princess Storybook Dining, and it's family style. I've never eaten there, which is why I skipped over it, but I listed all the others, so I might as well throw that in there. Okay, next we're going to move on to bars and lounges. This is listed separately from quick service or table service. Oftentimes, they don't have expansive menus as a table service would be, but you do have a waiter like you would at a table service. So maybe that's why it's a separate category. I'm just going to list my favorites and not them all. In Hollywood Studios, the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge is great. They have lovely, elegant, upscale cocktails right at that lounge. And I think it's chef's kiss. Love it. And then I think Oga's Cantina is so fun. That is at Galaxy's Edge in the Star Wars area of Hollywood Studios. And I just think it's so much fun. Definitely, definitely, definitely make an advanced reservation for Oga's Cantina, though. It is very popular, and you're only allowed 2 drinks, too, and they'll kick you out. So it's great. At Epcot, there's tons of bars and lounges. My favorites, there's a margarita kiosk. I think you definitely need to hit that up. It's called Choza de Margarita. It's right there on the left as you enter the Mexico area. Then they're in the Mexico pavilion inside the building. There's La Cava del Tequila. I've never been there, but I think it's a really cool experience. And I put it on here because it's inside the Mexico pavilion, which I think was one of my favorite pavilions. And I think it's just a really cool ambiance and unique experience. You can also do a magical extra there at that place. So I'll talk about that at the end of the episode. Rose and Crown, I've never like hung out at the bar there, but it always sounds like so much fun. So if you're into that pubby style, head there. It sounds like a blast. I've actually seen a police officer standing outside like multiple times. It's like that much fun. Space 220 Lounge. I've never been able to get in, but it looks awesome. You actually take like a rocket ship. I'm doing that in quotation marks. I think it's just an elevator, but it looks like you're in a rocket ship rising into space, and then you are at a space station up there. It's really cool. But there's a restaurant, Space 220 restaurant, but then there's also this lounge, and I would love to get up there. You don't need a reservation for the lounge, but they also take reservations for the lounge. And then Tutto Gusto Wine Cellar. I think it has a great menu. The wines look phenomenal. That's in the Italy Pavilion. Space 220 Lounge is up in the front of the park by where the Mission Space ride is in that area. At Animal Kingdom, the bar that I love is Nomad Lounge. It's the only one I wrote down. The ambiance is great. The food's actually good. The snacks and desserts there are delicious, and it's a really beautiful theme. Like the theming's great, and it's just a lovely place to be. For hotels, my favorite bars would be Trader Sam's at the Polynesian. I just got in. It's a little difficult to get in, but it's so much fun. It reminds me a little of Oga's Cantina, and that it's like super duper themed and there's no windows, but it's interactive like Beaches and Cream. When someone orders something, there's like things that happen in the restaurant. I think it's a lot of fun. And then Tambu Lounge, which is upstairs at the Polynesian in the main building. It's kind of like the bar for Ohana, but it's got the drinks are delicious. And then the Enchanted Rose, which is at the Grand Floridian. I think that is a very elegant upscale bar. And I love being in that resort in general, but I think it is so well themed. Very, very sophisticatedly themed, though. Not Trader Sam's is like, I don't want to say tacky, but tacky in the best way, but it's like tacky and like kitschy. Enchanted Rose is elegant and upscale. It is none of that. It has a slight Beauty and the Beast theme, but really it's very subtle and sophisticated, just like all of the Grand Floridian is so sophisticated. And then there's a bar on the boardwalk that I have to mention, and that is Jelly Rolls. I think Jelly Rolls is so fun. It is a dueling piano bar, but you must be 21 or older. It opens at like 8 p.m. It's like a true bar. It opens like 8 p.m. and you have to be 21 to get in. And it's again dueling pianos and it's so much fun. Okay, so those are just my hot tips. There are 400 restaurants that you can eat and dining options throughout Walt Disney World, but you can do a very quick search on your own and read a list because this episode's already quite long and I have a few more things to get to. Okay, next is Disney dining plan. Disney does offer a dining plan, and this you can add one of these options to your Walt Disney World vacation package. That means you have to stay on property in order to be eligible for this. I learned recently they changed because I thought I was never eligible for the dining plan as an annual pass holder because it does say you need to purchase a vacation package, which is a resort stay and tickets. But my friend who has an annual pass said she just did that, it's a little tricky, but there is an option if you're a pass holder and staying on property, you might be eligible for the dining plan as well. So because it's part of a Disney vacation package, this means you can finance it. You can pay monthly towards your package. So once you get to your vacation, you don't have to meal budget. You already paid for your meals. You don't have to think about that while you're there, about how much money your meals are going to cost. Because again, you already paid for it. You may need to pay gratuities, but you'll figure that out. Unused meals of your meal plan, they just roll over to another day. So I know a friend who goes all the time, they roll over their snacks and then go to Epcot on their last day and then use all their snacks to snack around Epcot. Like that's her strategy. So there's certainly strategy involved in the Disney dining plan. Allegedly, I say, because I cannot verify this, but according to the Walt Disney World website, it says kids 3 to 9 will save 20% with the dining plan versus paying for meals or snacks, at the parks. So that's what they say without a plan. That's what Disney says. Meals expire at midnight on the day of your checkout, and you must purchase the dining plan for the entire length of your stay. So if you're staying 4 nights, then you must purchase 4 days of dining plan. Children 3 to 9 must order from the kids menu when available. There is a big dining plan deal for this summer. This recording date is January 2025. So the summer 2025. So if you're listening to this after, just fast forward a couple, like 15 seconds or so. So there's a deal this summer. You get a free dining plan when you purchase a non-discounted 3-night, 3-day minimum hotel and park hopper stay. Now, what you're eligible for, I've linked the deal below in the show notes so you can click on that. So if you're staying at a deluxe resort, you're eligible for a free dining plan, the Disney dining plan. And if you're staying at a moderate or value resort, you're eligible for the quick service dining plan. So I'm going to talk about the two different plans right now. If you fast forwarded, now you tune back in. Or if you're not tuned in, tune in now. There's a quick service dining plan and a Disney dining plan. The quick service dining plan, you would get 2 quick service meals per night of stay. And guests 21 and over can include an alcoholic beverage in that quick service meal. Or a non-alcoholic beverage, but if you're over 21, an alcoholic beverage would be counted as well. So you get 2 quick service meals a day. You get 1 snack or non-alcoholic beverage per night of stay. And you get 1 resort refillable drink mug. And that's eligible for refills from self-service beverage islands at any Disney Resort Hotel quick service location. The Disney dining plan, you get 1 quick service meal a day, 1 table service meal a day, 1 snack or non-alcoholic drink per day, and the resort refillable mug. So in each thing, you're getting 4 things. But the quick service, you're getting 2 quick service meals, no sit down, no table service. And for the Disney dining plan, you get 1 quick service and then 1 table service. Okay, so that's the distinction. Now, if you wanted to eat at fine dining or signature dining or character meal, 2 meals would be used for that. Okay, 2 table service credits. And reservations are highly recommended for your table service meals. So that's the dining plan. There are also some extra dining things. There is a dinner show called the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. That's at Fort Wilderness. I think it's really fun. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's unique too, and like a cool adventure-y vibe, wilderness adventure vibe. Okay, so that's your dinner show. There's also fireworks dining packages, and I think this is a really cool option. It is an additional cost, of course, so not only do you need your theme park ticket, this is an extra cost, but if you're going to eat anyway, this is a little extra money and you're going to see fireworks. So they work in a bunch of different ways. So at Magic Kingdom, there's a couple different options. There's a pre-party and post-party, and then there's also a seats and suites. So you dine and sit at the terrace in the same area and view the fireworks. Okay. So the pre-party means you go, you eat before the fireworks, and then you're escorted to prime viewing for the fireworks in the hut. I've done it before and it's lovely, and I thought it was a good value at the time. But I only paid $60 and the prices are no longer $60. So for the pre and post party, that price range is $99 to $109 per adult or $59 per child. And that does include tax. So the pre-party, you eat before, then you view the fireworks, and post-party, you view the fireworks, and then you go to the Tomorrowland Terrace and party at the Tomorrowland Terrace. Beer and wine is included, as well as an assortment of desserts and some other noshes, little refreshments, little treats. Not like a sit-down meal. You're like, these are little snicky snackies. And then the seats and suites is $119 to $129 per adult and $75 per kid. But again, you're sitting, you have like a seat for firework viewing. So at Epcot, there's 2 different options. These at Epcot, these dining packages go on while the fireworks are happening. And I think I saw some of these going on the last time I was there, and they look really cool. This is like on a to-do list of mine. So there's a Rose and Crown dining package that's $92 per adult, $41 per child, including tax and gratuity. And your dining package includes a prefix menu where you can choose 1 appetizer, 1 entree, 1 dessert, and a selection of unlimited beverages. Okay, that's pretty good. Then Spice Road table, which is at the Morocco Pavilion, that's $81 per adult, so less than the Rose and Crown, $31 per child, and you get your choice of two small plates, a shared tagine, and a dessert platter. And again, unlimited beverages. Then at Hollywood Studios, there's a Fantasmic dining package. This ranges based on what restaurant you're going to eat at. So there's a select, you can go and look online. There's a selection, or you can search in the My Disney Experience app and search Fantasmic dining packages, and you'll get more information about it. This ranges from $57 to $83 per adult and $23 to $49 per kid. And this depends if you're going at lunch or dinner. There's for breakfast, there's more of a range here at Hollywood Studios. So again, there's like a select bunch of restaurants, and from those restaurants, you would select an entree and a dessert or one buffet along with a beverage, and alcoholic beverages would be included. During festivals with Epcot, during the Epcot festivals, you can do a dining package that guarantees seating to whatever entertainment's going on during that festival. So there's like the Eat to the Beat concert series, there's the Broadway series during Festival of the Arts, there's the Candlelight Processional during Festival of the Holidays, but there's a package. And again, that would vary based on what restaurant you're going to. I just did that. Well, it's an entree and dessert or a buffet, the same sort of thing, and a beverage based on what restaurant you're going to eat at. There's a list. Those will pop up a little bit before the festival begins, and you'll be able to book those special dining packages at those times, but they'll be announced ahead of time. There's also, like I was saying before, when I was talking about the bar in Mexico, the Tequila Tavern, you can go to La Cava Experience, which is in the tequila room in the Mexico Pavilion. They have a whole like extra experience you can do. There are chef tables available, mostly at Victoria and Albert's, which is the Grand Floridian Resort. That's a fine dining restaurant. There are wine tastings you can do at Disney Springs. There's a sangria tasting you can do at Coronado Springs. And then there's afternoon tea at the Cake Bake Shop on the boardwalk. I haven't done a bunch of these, but there are options there. And I've linked a lot below in the show notes for you to go and look up. Thank you so much for listening to this hefty episode. Dining, there are so many dining options, and really there's a lot to unpack there. So thank you for sticking with me and listening to this, and I hope you learned something new. See you real soon. Thank you so much for listening to the Disney Days Planning Podcast. See you real soon.